Y'all, I look like a damn ghost right now. Like, shit. Okay. Anyway, so I'm sorry I'm looking a little weird, a little different. I got a tank top on. What's going on? I'm about to get ready to leave for work. I was just kind of inspired to want to make this video because it's about a topic that really interests me. It's something that I want people to talk about more, and it's sex. Now, I'm not on here to talk about my personal experience with having sex and if I have had sex, if I haven't, just all sorts of different things. I'm just on here to give you guys my personal opinion about when you should start having sex, the things you need to consider, the things you need to know, and go from there. Because, you know, there's a lot of younger girls on YouTube. There's lots of different people on YouTube, but, you know, especially the younger girls and guys are just, you know, the most influenced by things, and I just don't want you guys seeing any misinformation. And anyway, I know when I first started, like, being introduced to sex and, you know, what is this? And, you know, eggs, sperm, what's all this kind of stuff? There wasn't a lot of outlets for me to go because, you know, in my family, just talking about sex is just like a no, which is just kind of understandable. Parents don't usually want to hear about their kids having sex. You know, they know you're probably doing it, but they just don't want to hear about it. So, you know, that either leaves me to another family member, which I don't really have, you know, someone with that kind of connection, or the internet. So a lot of kids in these days are going to go to the internet. So I just wanted to put a video out there just to talk to you guys about the 3 things that I think you need to know before you can start having sex. And I have them in my phone so I don't forget. I filmed this video 2 times already, and just the things I was saying just wasn't what I wanted. So I'm making it again. So the first thing is you need to be educated. Before you start having sex, you need to be educated on what different things are. There was a point in my life where someone had said the word sperm to me, like, in conversation. And I was like, what is that? Like, I didn't even know what freaking sperm was. Like, obviously, if you're at that level, you are really not ready to start having sex. Now, in the public education system, I know, at least in mine, in Florida, you know, I think it was like 8th grade, they started introducing like sex ed health classes like once a year, like only one day like out of the year, like all the science teachers would come together and talk about what's going on. But you know, you need to know the anatomy. You need to be educated. You also need to be educated on different forms of contraception. There are 2 mainstream ones, which are condoms and birth control. Birth control, here we go. It's easy to get on. That's my birth control. You know, there's birth control, there's condoms, but there's also other different types of birth control, lots of different types. Like, they put like a thing in your arm, they have ones they insert in you, just all different types of stuff. There's also female condoms. There's a lot of different stuff that aren't mainstream that could work for you, and you need to know about, there's different types of condoms. Like, there's latex, there's like sheepskin, lambskin, and polyurethane, which is like thinner. That's for people that are allergic to latex. Anyway, there's all different types of condoms, and they all have different levels of protection, and you need to know about that. So you just need to be educated. If you're not educated, then you can't make a well-rounded decision about when you are ready to have sex. The next thing you need to be is confident. Now, I'm not saying like, OMG, like you have to be so proud of yourself and everything you're doing. I'm not talking about that kind of confidence. I'm talking about confidence in yourself when it comes to your answers, your replies, because a lot of times people, you don't want to turn into that person that's easy. And that can happen very easily if you're not the type of person that, you know, is confident in their yeses, is confident in their nos. You don't want to be easily persuaded by people, because at the end of the day, when you're like turned on or whatever, and you know, you're just like in the mood to have sex, or like wanting to start having sex, you know, like you've hit puberty and you started discovering yourself and you want to start having sex, you know, it's very easy, you know, if you're at a party or just different things, for people to kind of persuade you and just, and you know, like touch you and grab you, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, you know, like maybe I'm ready. But you're not, because you need to be at a place with yourself to where, you know, if you say yes, you're confident in that, you're 100% like, okay, let's go. I know everything that could happen. You know, I know about STDs, I know about pregnancy, I know about Plan B pills, I know about all that kind of stuff. And then when you say your yes or you say your no, that you're confident in it, and there's no maybes, there's no so's, there's no, oh, maybe I will, you know, maybe it's that time, you know, maybe I should, like, he's cute. No, like, you need to have confidence, because guys, I can only speak from my kind of experience because I'm a girl. but I'm sure girls might do this to guys too, they'll look for kind of like vulnerability, you know, like if they're like, hey, you know, you want to go upstairs? You're like, I don't know, like blah, blah, blah. They're gonna take that as like a challenge, and they're gonna like poke and pry until, you know, you end up sleeping with some guy you don't even know and you lose your virginity. And, you know, and the last thing I want to talk about before I give like a wholehearted answer to this is you have to understand the consequences. This is the third thing. The consequences of having sex. There are two main ones. There are pregnancy and STDs. A lot of people focus on the pregnancy, they forget about STDs. Understand that when someone sleeps with another person, whatever germs, STDs, whatever they got going on, they now have. And then they'll give it to you, and then you'll give it to someone, and it's just like, you know, like once you have sex with someone, like you inherit, okay? And you just need to have an overall understanding of the consequences, and you know how to check yourself for STDs. And if you're a woman, once you start having sex, you really need to get in touch with a gynecologist and start having regular pap smears. I've started doing them just because of some other stuff I had going on, but I started seeing a gynecologist. I'm happy I did, because you know, they test you for all different STDs. They look and see about like cervical cancer and things like that, and then they send you for like blood work and stuff. But anyway, and also pregnancy, like you guys have to understand that even if you use a condom, even if you're on birth control, sometimes even if you're using both, you could get pregnant, because that's just the way of the world. Some, you know, everybody's different. There's guys with low testosterone, there's girls like me with a tilted cervix or tilted uterus that would make it harder for me to get pregnant. There's lots of different things that can affect that, but there's also people in the world that have a high fertility rate, or guys that have just like super sperm. And you know, sometimes you just don't know, like you just don't know the situation about you or the person you're with. And especially if you engage in unprotected sex, you're really, you know, it feels better, but what does that even matter if you're gonna end up with a kid with a person you don't even really know or like or what have you, or end up with an STD that, you know, hinders some part of you for the rest of your life. You know, I just want you guys to be careful. But those are the three main things that I think you need to know and be familiar with before you start having sex. You know, be familiar with Plan B and all different sorts of things in case, you know, mishaps happen. Now, as far as when to start having sex, I feel like the best, at least starting age, is 18. The only reason I say that, because you can be all three of those things before 18, like I understand, but the good thing about being 18 is that you're considered an adult. So even if you don't have your own car and your mom takes you to the doctor because you're like concerned about something, and your mom takes you to the doctor's office, your mom can literally be in the waiting room, but because you're an adult, anything that you discuss with the doctor can't be discussed with your mom. So even if you're telling your mom, oh, like I'm cold, like I have a cold, you can go in there and be like, get me on birth control, you know what I mean? And your mom doesn't even have to know about it. So that's the benefit of being 18. Also, you know, getting on birth control, and I don't think there's any age you need to be to buy condoms. I think anyone can buy them. But, you know, just being old enough to, you know, go to the pharmacy and get your own medications, and just be able to take care of yourself is really important. And I think at 18 is a good age. Now, I understand, you know, at 16, 17 are like the prime years, and when you really are like, oh my God, I want to start having sex, you know what I mean? But I would just recommend you wait till you're 18. That way you can fully have access to everything you need to take care of yourself and doctors. And please, if you're a woman, start seeing a gynecologist. Now, also, my final recommendation is I would always recommend before you start having sex, like with your first time, to be with someone you're in a relationship with. Now, I only say that because I just, you know, I have friends that don't even know, like they don't know the name of the person they, you know, lost their virginity to. I have people who, you know, the guy they lost their virginity to is like, just like keeps coming back in their life and is just like forever connected in their life, but they just like despise the guy. I have a friend who, you know, it was some like really like older guy, and she just, you know what I mean? All of my different friends have lost virginity at different times to different people, different situations, and whatever is comfortable for them is comfortable with them. But in my opinion, the most comfortable of all situations is to be in a relationship, because you're completely comfortable with you and them, and there's, you know, like love, and it kind of like will make the sex better because you like really have true feelings for that person, and you want to like, you know, like you're not just some hookup, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, there's people in this world, and it's completely fine, who are okay with like random hookups and doing all that kind of stuff. But especially for your first time, like I don't know. I just know for myself, I wouldn't want it to be like just a number on a guy's list, and you know, I'm like, oh my god, like I lost my virginity and like all this stuff, and he's just looking at me like, oh yeah, that was a good time, you know, while it lasted, bye, you know what I mean? And I would just always recommend, and that way there's an open air of conversation for if anything goes wrong, you know, if the condom breaks, or, you know, because if it's a random person, sometimes you may not even have their damn phone number to call them and be like, yo, or, you know, if you realize that maybe you got an STD and you can contact them and be like, what the fuck, like you need to go get tested, or I'm going to get tested, like, you know what I mean? So anyway, I just wanted to make this video because there's such a negative connotation about sex and talking about sex, but there shouldn't be. You know, people are gonna have sex, that's just the way it is. There's always, you know, there's all sorts of different, I don't want to say limits, I'm not sure exactly what to say, but, you know, things, I guess, about, you know, like waiting till marriage, or different things like that, but just do whatever is comfortable with you. If it's a part of your religion to wait till marriage, then do your best to try and achieve that. But you know, just for the average person, I would say just to maybe wait till you're in a relationship and wait till you're 18. But as always, whatever you want to do is what you want to do. If you want to lose it to a random person, just whatever you're comfortable with. You know yourself better than I know you, and you know, I just know myself and I know what I'd be comfortable with, and girl, emotionally that would just like destroy me. But you know, you can do whatever you'd like to do. You know, wait till marriage, don't wait till marriage. Just make sure you have those 3 things. You know, you're educated, you're confident in your answers, and you understand the consequences of sex, and then I think you're ready to go, and you will 100% know when you're ready, you know. And the one thing I want to make 100% clear here is being nervous is not being not ready, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be nervous, like it's your first time, you have absolutely no idea like really what's going on, you know, like you don't know the feelings and everything that's gonna come along with it. But you know, I just want to, you know, make it clear to you guys that just because you're nervous about it does not mean you're not ready. You know, nervousness is fine, but if you're like at a point where you're just like, oh my god, like I don't know, like I don't know, if you're saying I don't know to yourself, then you're not ready. But if you're like, yeah, you know, like I really like him, I think I'm ready, and then you're just kind of like getting a little nervous or like cold-feeted about it, that's completely fine. I think you're still ready. You're just like every other, you know, person where your first time, it means a lot, you know, and it's nerve-wracking. So anyway, I will see you guys next time here on Life of Chelsey. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I'm a little like like, I don't know, kind of short-breathed in this video. I think I was talking really fast. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you have any personal questions, you can message them to me, but I would very much recommend that you like contact a doctor about any sort of sexual questions that you have. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time, and bye-bye.